Alright, so as we left off...
Or shoot the lips. No.
We were trying to determine if Sean is our friend anymore.
Yes.
Right.
Is he? Let's make a yes and a no category.
Okay.
Write down what you like, what you don't.
So as you step out, and you're all standing there, the magic mouth upon the wall was conversing with you, saying that you had just passed your challenge. And he continues, unless any of you have any questions before this starts for him.
Fuck you.
Okay.
Gentlemen, again I praise you for getting this far. But to be my stewards going forward, you probably need a little background as to what I expect of you. And from that, you need to know the history. Nearly 500 years ago, clans of dwarves and gnomes made an agreement known as the Fandelver's Pact, by which they would share a rich mine in a wondrous cavern known as Wave Echo Cave. In addition to its mineral wealth, the mine contained a great magical power. Human spellcasters, such as I, in my time, allied themselves with dwarves and gnomes to channel and bind that energy into a great forge called the Forge of Spells, where magic items could be crafted. Times were good, and the nearby town of Phandalin seemed to pop up overnight to meet the needs of the new miners and visitors alike. But disaster struck when orcs swept through the lands of the north and laid waste to all in their path. This powerful force of orcs was reinforced by mercenary wizards, and they attacked Wave Echo Cave to seize its riches and magic treasures. Human wizards fought along their dwarf, gnome, and half-orc allies to defend the Forge of Spells. The ensuing battle destroyed much of the cavern. Few survived the battle, let alone the cave-ins and tremors that followed. The devastation was so great that the mine was lost to both destruction and time. The battle drove off the residents of Phandalin, and the once prosperous town was left as nothing but a husk of its former self. Many held this loss against me, for they believed my absence was the tipping point in favor of the attacking hordes. But they failed to understand were the larger implications that this battle held. History to that point had shown us that orcs were a very tribal species. These tribes may consist of dozens of individuals. However, the horde numbered nearly 1,000 strong. This figure fails to include the countless mercenaries they hired to aid them in their savagery. This was an unsettling turn of events, and an inquiry had to be made. I took it upon myself and scoured the streets of our largest cities. Within the slums, I was able to find a number of half-orcs willing to serve our cause. These half-orcs were brave enough to infiltrate their old orc clans upon my behest. With the information they gathered, I was able to surmise that the clans were led by an orc schooled in the dark arts of necromancy. A practice shunned by our standard arcane schools and stripped from the Candlekeep libraries centuries prior. It became apparent that these orc tribes were not forming a larger clan, but becoming converted cultists to a false doctrine. they were not to be granted an eternal life, but rather become undead tools to the Prince of the Undead himself, the Demon Lord Orcus. It was with this knowledge I was able to bring more half-orcs to our cause. The convincing was simplified within the orc culture, as they were second-rate citizens at best. Even though many races held contempt for them, humans seemed to be the least apprehensive of their past. With their aid, I hoped we would hold the caves. However, I needed to prepare for the worst. The desire to breach Wave Echo Cave became apparent to me. I allowed the others to continue their belief that the goal of the Horde was merely to capture the power of the Forge of Spells and the mineral wealth hidden within the cave, as this seemed to be persuasive enough for the masses to take up arms. However, their true intent was to capture the source of its power. Those in the Vandelver's Pact held the belief that the cave held some innate magical properties, which provided the forge of its spells its power. I knew this to only be a half-truth. The cave held a source of overwhelming, enchantment-based magical properties. When a source is this strong, it tends to bind itself into a physical manifestation, a crystallized-like form. I spent days prior to the attack, locked away in my makeshift study within the cave. While others thought I was preparing for war, I was in fact using my familiar to dredge through the cave's unexplored areas. On the eve of battle, I located the source, a towering formation of citrine. The chamber's location was far too deep to be discovered easily. Luckily, my familiar returned a piece of the citrine to me for my use. My previous studies had theorized about the existence of such formations. However, their existence had yet to be proven until that moment. How it is the cult leader knew of its existence in this mine, I can only surmise was due to the whisperings of the Ancient One himself. The Dark Prince has always sought rot and destruction. His goal alone could be accomplished with such a raid on this fortified structure. It was with that the conclusion became evident. He, like that of all the demons of the Abyss, wanted to increase his power by expanding his reach to our plane of existence. This crystal form was not to aid his followers' power, but his own. He must have discovered a path that this power could provide, a gateway to our realm. If such a gateway could be created, our world would be transformed to his liking. The death of all living things, an undeniable outcome. The discovery of this crystallized formation lends that others would also exist. It was with that information I had to take my leave on the eve of battle. No other mortal possessed the natural ability to craft items of such power, and to a tool for our use in the struggles to come. Over time, I located several other magical deposits, similar to the one within Wave Echo Cave. I slowly removed the embellishments within my spellbook and replaced them with these crystals, each holding a unique magical property. It was within this book that I presented instruction for how to keep the Dark Prince at bay. Regretfully, it required sacrifices to empower those within the levels of the Abyss nearest to Orcus. Empowering these fiends, aiding them, trying to usurp Orcus's power within the abyss. He struggled to maintain his position within his own plane of existence, would occupy his time and resources too greatly to focus on overtaking our realm. Regretfully, it would appear my steward has failed to make these sacrifices as instructed, allowing Orcus the ability to regain a foothold on his position and bolster his numbers. The consequences of this failure have been set into motion. His power, now too great to further attempt aiding other fiends to overtake his position within the abyss. He merely needs a steward to take on his mantle within this plane, and we will again be facing the beginning of the end. I, though, cannot determine how we reached this point. My charge was clear to my steward just upon my passing. I asked before, and I will ask again. What happened to my steward? Where is Asmar Milner?
I just kind of glance over at Garbo.
Do you want to fuck this lady up?
Are you asking that actually?
There's a lady here. Am I on?
What are you talking about? No, you're only talking to the mouth.
It's just the mouth that's the wall we're talking
What was
to.
the name? Asmal.
Asmar Milner.
Asmar Milner is dead. Hung with the rest of the Milner family, with the exception of the boy.
I don't think that was one of the names.
Yeah, it was. Was it?
You have it in your reference to look at it.
Pretty sure it's right there.
Yeah, you can go look
I
at
know
it.
there was, but we've heard of other Milners, but not the one you speak of.
Interesting. Which have you heard of?
Galleon, Alina, the daughter Jonette, and Calero, the boy. Those are the only ones that we've heard of.
My head perks up.
Galleon. He was just a babe when I saw him last. I do not recognize these other names. Galleon was the son of Asmar.
Though that would have been his family, I believe, the ones you haven't heard of.
How many years ago was this request? Or was he tasked with this stewardship?
Hundreds.
There would have been many, many generations of Milners.
Yes, but I granted them additional life, like I had myself. They did not age at the rate that a normal human did. So, the other names, aside from Galleon, what were they?
Alina, Jonette, and a small boy named Calero.
And they're all dead.
Calero remains living in the town.
Which town?
Lurik.
It's a town now.
Yes.
Her dream came to fruition. Is Mother Lurwick still there?
She also has passed.
Oh, understandable. It seems much time has passed on the outside. Well, at least Asmar held up his end of the deal. But as I feared, the lineage would at some point break. Does the son know of his charge? This boy?
I don't believe so.
As I look over at Insano, and I look back at the mouth,
I'm just staring at the mouth at this point.
and I say, it doesn't appear that he does. He just aids the monastery that's there and kind of does what he's told from the outside.
Do you have any inclination as to his age when his family passed?
I believe he was 2, which is why he was spared.
Yes. Too young to carry the burden. Well, you must carry a greater one.
Oh, goody.
What do you need us to do?
If you do not wish to, dwarf, you can leave now.
We've come this far. Let's hear it.
To do so, I will need to bestow upon you my tongue, which in fact is already in the possession of the little one.
As he kind of, in a way like only a mouth can, just kind of points over towards Yerbo's general direction.
Yerbo.
You still have the book upon you, do you not? You can reply it.
I don't think you have the book. I have the book!
I think so, yeah.
You do.
You're the one who entered the tower, which was the key.
Take it out and I throw it as hard as I can at the fucking left.
As you chuck it across the floor, it lands a little short.
Someone else pick it up!
If you would. Someone please.
I stroll up and I dust off the book and I said, what do you mean, don't put this in your mouth? Like, if it just feels weird.
Oh God, no.
I barely know you and I'm like trying to stuff it in his mouth. He's like,
Get it away.
I'm like, I'm sorry,
He's like,
you asked for
no,
this.
no.
I don't know. What do you want me to do with it?
Go over to the ruins.
I walk over to the ruins.
As you step onto the ruins, you hold the book out in your hands.
This will feel a little weird, but it's fine.
And you feel your hand starting to get hot. As you do, you look down at this brown leather book, metal strappings on the side, with the one golden sword that you saw in the center with a silver ring. As you're staring at it, you start seeing what looks like an illusion that was cast on top of it start to disappear. You can see gemstones set inside of this book. You can see
Thanos shit.
pages.
Soul stone and everything, or what?
Really? Tears?
They're not for him.
We already sacrificed JJ.
How do you think you got the soul stone?
Wow.
You can see pages now beset underneath the sword itself. And a heft suddenly reaches the book that it didn't have before.
This is my tome.
Damn, son.
Copy of the book?
Oh, immersion!
Stepping away from the table for just a moment, we need to thank those who've helped us bring this episode to life. Our friends at Battle Bards. Battle Bards offers an incredible, vast array of sound, music, and effects to bring your games to life. Their Prime subscription service allows you to stream that content from anywhere, including if you play online. With the Prime service, you not only are able to stream that content, but if you wanted to purchase individual tracks for yourself or for use elsewhere, you get 20% off of all of your purchases on the site. Not only that, they give you access to mixers and soundboards to make the sound and effects that you need. If you go to battlebards.com, enter the promo code LOST to get a little discount off of your subscription. Our need for incredible sound is so vast that we're also helped by our friends at Sirenscape. Sirenscape brings amazing atmosphere and music to your games. With their app, you can set the mood at your table on the fly. Their tool sets allow you to create unique music for your games, and with their vast library, you'll find something for almost any RPG setting. Please find links in the description below to both of these amazing services. By using these links, you help us by showing our partners the support you have for our content. Both of these services provide an amazing level of immersion for your players. Check them both out and find out which is best for you. Or you can go our route and use them both, because they're both unique. Thank you to both Battle Bards and Sirenscape for your support. Now, let's get back to the table.
Oh god, immersion level 9001.
Oh my god, he has a copy of the book.
Oh,
That's what it looks like.
Shit.
Jesus.
Got the motherfudging tome.
Dude, look at that thing. Good lord.
I'm just holding this thing like this.
Yep.
Right. Can I flip it open?
You certainly can, but as you flip it open, it's just blank pages again.
Alright.
This is what you will need. As you notice, the gemstones don't have a great deal of sparkle to them. That is purposeful. For as you see, each one holds a unique power to it.
That's fucking wild.
When a steward of the Dark Prince has been chosen, the power within these gems will make itself available to you. Not before. I couldn't risk this being used for outside of its intended purpose. Each crystal has enough power only for a single use, after all. The book should provide you ample ability to thwart the steward in trying to bring about Orcus. You have actually seen one of these once before. I gave one to old Theodore outside.
Ah,
Oh,
remember him.
Yeah.
he was quite the warrior. His blood tasted really good.
He used it, right?
He did.
He did.
Oh, thank God.
He broke it.
Correct. And you will need to do the same when the time comes.
Did you just break one of them?
Correct.
Is there a special way to get them out? Or will the book make itself know which crystal we should extricate?
When a steward has been chosen, the gems will have a shimmery glow to them. Not until then. Simply give it a little bit of force, and the gem will give way.
And how is a steward chosen?
That I'm unaware of. But the Dark Prince will most likely manipulate someone. As many Lords of the Abyss have before. But, following Orcus, this should be easy to find. An undead horde should follow.
We might have seen someone like this already.
Oh,
His name was Kost. And he brought with him what appeared to be some undead helpers. They were gathering bodies and taking them back through a magical portal of some kind.
well, this seems odd to me.
He had a great power about him.
For if he was the chosen one,
He wouldn't have known that. You should the story up to this point.
Was he there for that?
No.
What? Insana?
Insana wasn't there for that.
Yeah, he was.
That was after Wayback Cave.
Yeah, he was there for that.
Oh, okay.
You met both.
I eviscerated one of the red capes like in the middle of the hall.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Okay.
The only ones that were not there for that were Grizzle and Snot. Everyone else was present for that.
Yeah.
Grizzle just kind of shrugs. It's not.
Like, oh.
Didn't we find Snot before him?
Yes, but Snot left for a period of time.
Yep.
Oof.
that were his steward, the gems should already be glowing.
Alright, so where do we find this Stuart?
Steward.
That's what I said, Stuart. Where does he live?
Stewart, we're gonna fight Stewart.
Oh, you are a troublesome one, are you not?
It's pronounced snot.
Why did it have to be the boy and not you?
I ask myself that every day.
How you locate him, that I cannot be a great service of. As I said, death will follow him. But, if you are in his presence, the gems will glow brighter. But, the range on that is nothing significant. You will likely know before the gems do.
Alright then.
Well, what else can I aid you with?
Are there any other enchantments in this building we can use to our advantage?
Regretfully, in my form, no. My past self could have done you a great service. But this shell of a being I have been relegated to, I can do you no further aid than this. But this should be plenty.
Yeah, the lip service really helps out.
Wow.
Is there anything you can think of, maybe in Wayback Cave, that we overlooked?
I don't know what you saw the first time.
You knew the location, you knew the place very well. Was there any great weapons, maybe, or a great power source somewhere we could go find?
Well, you knew of the Forge of Spells within it. You were there.
Oh, I remember that fight.
I saw you.
That was...
Are you suggesting that we go back there?
If that's what you feel you need to do, then maybe. But
Or we should go visit that Cal kid. And be like, what up, you little bitch? Suck on this book a little bit. And see if the gemstones light up. Probably don't call him a little bitch, though. That's not necessary. You know?
That's
part of the plan.
Pretty rude.
as I said, the stones will get brighter when you're within the vicinity of its steward. But they will begin to glow the moment a steward has been selected.
Speaking of the boy,
Could anyone be a steward?
You had asked about Lurwick and asked if it's a town now. What was it prior to that? And you said it was somebody's dream had come to fruition?
Well, yes. Mother Lurwick. She had always talked about starting her own little coven, as it were.
Have you heard of Archbishop Renard?
I have not. Why?
He runs the town now. He's in charge.
Oh, okay. Did you have a relationship with Mother Lurwick?
Didn't you have the book?
He was the one who had the book that led us here.
Oh. He took it from the Milners.
It would appear so.
He also seemed very interested in the mine.
I don't know whether to think that's a hobby or a professional curiosity.
I say, where do you buy your toothpicks? I gotta know.
Does this one ever stop?
No, he
Not
doesn't.
usually.
Lurwick was actually attacked to get the book by orcs. A dark necromancer of sorts that disappeared. Would that have been...
Did he disappear?
He ran?
Did he?
I don't know. Would
He
that have been
turned
the doing
invisible.
of Orcus?
I believe you killed him.
One of them went invisible.
You killed the
What?
big guy.
Killed. No,
No,
the
you
big,
killed
the,
the big
the
guy.
big guy went invisible. We
Correct.
killed the orc, I believe.
Oh,
Correct.
it's the
So,
summoner.
so Lurik was attacked by a necromancer type orc. That just a pawn of Orcus?
It could be. And he could have been his steward. It would make sense that they'd come after this tome.
That's specifically what they were after, was the tome.
There was a paladin in town who held the book, and they were trying to reach him as fast as they could. Well, he calls himself a paladin.
I don't know what insight to give you on this. I apologize. But he could have been the chosen steward. It would make sense that he'd come after the book, no matter who held it.
So if he was the chosen steward, and he's now dead, that means that a new one would have been chosen, but we don't know how or why?
A new one will be chosen. It may not have happened yet. Sometimes it can take decades, centuries.
Alright. I'm just gonna sit down. Right in the middle there, and...
You had asked me one question earlier
What's that?
about your friend.
Yes, if it's possible to... get him back, per se.
I mean, I would say, from the trials at hand, your ally does not seem fit for the task that lies ahead. Frankly, I'd suggest that you align yourself with another, more able of the coming challenges. However, if your spirits will be hindered or blinded by such a loss, I'd recommend maybe you bring them back to Lerwick. I believe Mother Lerwick would have passed on her information to this
Renard?
Renard. Yes, thank you. I'm certain she had many healing properties, but even the spells that she knew, there was a timetable attached to it. If you do not get him there within a few days, your friend will be lost.
He's been of great aid to us in battle, which is why we were so sad to see him in this state.
Do you have the resources to bring him back?
I think it was like a 2-day hike back to... from the tower back to town.
Is it possible for you to get us there faster?
Sadly, no. But I can at least...
You're fine.
Snot,
jeez.
Snot's having a snot attack.
That's pretty standard for him, actually.
But
It really is.
I can give you the means. And what I meant by that is these spells require certain reagents. And they are quite rare and expensive.
All right.
Luckily, I no longer have use for physical means.
And as you still see, like, Snot sitting there, like, putting the book back and forth on his hands as he's standing there among these arcane stones, you see another bright flash of light. And
All of us see this
You all
flash
see
in
it.
the room.
And as it kind of goes back down, you just see a little chest sitting there. Shring!
I have no use for this. Hopefully it will aid you. You should find the necessary reagents inside. But you will need a spellcaster to use said reagents.
Alright. So I walk up to the chest. I assume it's not locked because he just made it appear before us. So I flip it open.
As you flip it open, you see the chest is filled with heaps of coin. Gold, silver, copper,
Okay.
rubies, and diamonds.
Oh shit.
between all of that, there is the equivalent of about 5,000 gold.
Pool.
Jesus.
Lordy.
And I say, wow, alright. Yoink.
Very
Just
eloquent.
just kidding. I will split it among everybody in our party.
Yeah.
And I divvy it out.
You will need those diamonds for the spell.
How many?
Oh, I am not a practicing healer, but if I can recall correctly, I believe it's 3.
And how many are in the chest?
It's about 5.
Okay. I'm gonna take all the diamonds. And I already had one in my possession. So now I have a total
How
of
much is
6.
that diamond worth?
100 gold.
It's not big enough.
What?
The diamonds you see in the chest are larger. The diamonds have to be of 300 gold worth or more.
Wow.
So your diamond is too small. It would not
So
work.
I only have one diamond of 100 gold.
Yeah, you're
But
a
I-
shitty
I
diamond
have
dog.
times 5 worth 300.
Correct.
Okay.
I gotta go.
So there's rubies and stuff. How many rubies are there?
3. They're worth about 100 gold apiece.
3 rubies.
And the rest is just gold.
And they're worth 100 gold each? 3 rubies?
Correct.
And then that's it? There's just gold, 3 rubies, and 5 diamonds?
Correct.
Okay. Is the outside of... This is just... No, like, gemstones on the outside? No, nothing on the outside that we can use?
Just
Just a plain...
crate.
Okay. And I look at
There
it and
are
I say,
handles on both sides, so like 2 people could pick it up and move it, which you would need to because it's too heavy.
That's a lot of gold.
There was 5,000 gold in that chest.
I say, wait. You said that out loud?
What?
There's 5,000 gold in that chest?
Yes. Was.
And you haven't
How long has it
paid
been?
us yet.
How long has it been since he started counting that?
I already said I took it.
I know, but like, how long has it been since you came up with that number?
Well,
How long did it take you to count it?
Well, he said that it was 5,000.
Yeah.
How long did it take him to figure that out?
How long did it take him to figure out there was 5,000 gold?
When he was
Out of the
told
moment
him.
he heard it.
Oh, Mordenkainen told him?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think I was messed up. Alright.
And I said I was going to split it among everybody.
Okay. Oh,
Except,
that's right when I was coming down.
yes.
Okay.
And JJ's no longer alive, so 5,000 split 5 ways. It's 1,000 gold each. There you go. So everybody has 1,000 more
Except
gold.
you took all the diamonds.
I took all. Oh,
It's not 5,000 gold plus those things. It's 5,000 gold worth of items.
oh.
So it's a mixture of gold, rubies, and diamonds.
So it was
Okay.
1,500,
You correct the numbers.
1,800.
You got that.
So 1,800.
How about you just take it all for right now?
Okay.
You guys can figure it out after the fact.
All right.
So it's right at the table.
So I have an odd sort of question.
Put it in the company account.
Earlier,
We'll set
our
up
friend
P cards for you
Gerbo
guys.
ran inside the tower, and we waited days for him to come out.
Yes.
But when
Yes.
but when he came out, he said he was only in there for a few minutes. What sort of enchantment does this building actually have?
Well, the goal is if someone were to break in here, I get the book maliciously, that they would be lost to time. Regretfully, I can't turn that back. There will be a certain amount of time lost when you leave.
Can you explain how long we've been in here?
Well, you know how long you've been in here,
Well,
but if you are referring to how long has passed on the outside,
yes. Sorry.
that I'm not entirely certain.
Okay.
It could be days, weeks, or months.
I would almost guess weeks at this point. So out of character, we've not rested since we've been in here. We rested outside when we fought Ted and kicked his ass.
Theodore, sorry.
The 10. Fucking 10. But basically we've just like charged through this entire tower in what feels like a handful of hours.
Mm-hmm.
Essentially.
Like half a day is what it felt like.
We're
Okay.
probably in there because I think we peeked out at one point and it was like a week later or something, or 2 days later.
Basically, by the time Andy got into the first floor, walked around, and walked out, it was almost a week later.
It was 6 days.
So we've got some kind of fraction to figure out about how long the outside world is.
I mean, I'm sure we can ask.
Or you can
So,
just go find out.
Once we go to town, but still, like, it's interesting.
Which we need to do and get a move on if we're to.
I don't know, maybe we should stop hanging out in this tower then.
Well, it's
Before the whole fucking world ends.
Well-
we got it on fast forward.
like the Futurama episode where
Yeah.
they just zoom forward.
Holy shit. He does actually speak intelligently from time to time.
Every once in a while.
So don't you tell me what I can and can't do.
And there he is, yeah.
I don't have to tell you, you just prove it. Time and time again.
Yeah,
And he's back.
you got that right.
Last odd question I have for you, Mordenkainen, sir. Any tips on killing dragons? Aside from the obvious.
And you stab them up pretty good.
What type of dragon?
Any type you think that our enemies might have.
Oh, yes, that really narrows it down.
I'm ready to take some
I
notes.
don't know. Stab him with the pointy end.
Thanks, Ari.
What about your last question for me? What about your chambers that we at the top of this tower? I assume that was your chambers, yes?
Oh, yes.
Is there anything that could be useful to us there?
Oh, I doubt it at this point. Everything is probably rot.
Where the fuck did you get that Minotaur?
I have my ways.
Let us get one of those. That'll help out, man.
Maybe if you're good, we'll get you one later.
Put a little saddle on it.
Alright, so how do we get out of here?
The same way you got down here.
Front fucking door.
Everyone step on the runes. You understand
that's
what your charge is.
I pick up Gearball.
Find the steward, whether there is one or not, and if not, wait.
Yeah, basically.
Sounds awesome.
Any particular place to wait? We've got friends that see on the outside who could maybe help us, but
Well, that's up to you where you'd like to wait.
I would like to ready an action.
Doing what?
So whenever this portal activates, I would like to scream. You have gingivitis.
Your action is ready.
Thank you.
So you're all stepping on?
yes.
Yeah.
Are you dragging dead JJ?
I am, and I'm going to push Gearball out of there because he's still meditating.
Okay. And as you do, like, you try to push him and he doesn't move. So you basically sling JJ's dead body over one shoulder, and with your other arm, you just pick up Garbo by the back of the shirt. He's still sitting here like this as you pick him up, and you
Pretty
just kind of
much.
haul him over and set his ass down.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, good luck. Yeah, that's about all I got. You ready?
Let's do this.
Good. Well,
Oh, did Ted have hepatitis by any chance?
sorry, what?
As the agony starts getting brighter, you see a bright light, and everything goes dark for all of you. And then you see a bright light again, and you realize you are back in the tower. As you look around, you take notice of everything. Everything is still on your person. Nothing's changed. Except you're minus one person.
JJ?
You don't see a small gnome with you.
Gearball.